My beloved child, I know how tired you are of hearing the words, "Wait a little longer." I see the way your heart sinks when another day passes and nothing seems to change. You have prayed. You have hoped. You have tried to stay strong. And yet, here you are, standing in the quiet space between what was promised and what has not yet appeared. You wonder if I still hear you. You wonder if I remember what you asked for. You wonder if perhaps the silence means the answer is no. But what if this waiting is not a rejection? What if this pause is not punishment? What if, even now, beyond what your eyes can see and your hands can touch, I am preparing something that will take your breath away? My beloved child, there is a reason I am asking you to wait a little longer. It is not because I have forgotten you. I do not forget my own. It is not because I am distant. I am closer to you than your next breath. It is because something beautiful is forming behind a curtain you cannot yet pull back. If I revealed it too soon, you would not understand its value. If I delivered it too early, it would not carry the fullness of joy I intend for you. I see the questions you do not speak aloud. I hear the quiet sighs when you lie awake at night. You replay the same thoughts. When will it happen? How much longer? Did I miss it? My beloved child, listen carefully to me now. Delay does not mean denial. Silence does not mean absence. Waiting does not mean I am inactive. In this very moment, I am working in ways your mind cannot measure. I am aligning circumstances. I am softening hearts. I am opening doors you do not even know exist yet. While you feel still, heaven is moving. While you feel forgotten, I am orchestrating details with precision and love. If I answered you the first time you asked, you would have received something smaller than what I have planned. You would have settled for relief, but I am preparing restoration. You would have accepted temporary comfort, but I am shaping lasting joy. My beloved child, I do not give halfway blessings. I give gifts that reflect my heart. So when I whisper to you, wait a little longer, it is not to stretch your pain. It is to deepen your capacity for the surprise that is coming. There is a gift forming with your name on it. There is a breakthrough that fits your story perfectly. And when it arrives, you will see that every second of waiting carried purpose. Do not walk away now. Do not close your heart in disappointment. Lift your eyes toward me. Trust that I am not late. Trust that I am not careless. Trust that what is on its way to you is worth every moment you have endured. Wait a little longer, my beloved child. The surprise is waiting for you. My beloved child, I see you're waiting in ways no one else does. I see the strength it takes for you to get up each morning and carry hope that feels fragile. I see the way you smile in front of others while questions echo inside your heart. I see the silent battles you fight when doubt whispers that nothing will ever change. You may feel unseen by the world around you, but you are never unseen by me. I watch the moments when you sit alone, thinking about what could have been. I notice the prayers you repeat because you are not sure if the first one reached me. I hear the tremble in your voice when you say, "Please, just let this work out." My beloved child, every word reaches me. Every tear speaks louder than you know. You do not have to shout for my attention. You already have it. Waiting can feel like standing still in a world that keeps moving. You look around and see others stepping into blessings you hoped would be yours. You wonder why their doors opened while yours remained closed. You question whether you did something wrong or missed a step along the way. But listen closely to my heart. Your journey is not a race against anyone else. What I am doing in you cannot be compared to what I am doing in another. There is growth happening beneath the surface of your life. Just because you cannot measure it does not mean it is not real. A tree does not break through the soil the moment its seed is planted. First, it grows roots. Deep, strong, unseen roots. In the same way, I am strengthening you from within. I am building endurance in your spirit. I am shaping patience in your character. I am forming wisdom in places that once held fear. You may feel as though nothing is changing, but you are not the same person you were when this waiting began. You have learned to lean on me in ways you never had to before. You have discovered strength in your weakness. You have developed compassion for others who are struggling. These quiet transformations are not small things. They are sacred. My beloved child, I also see the nights when your faith feels thin. I do not turn away from you in those moments. I draw closer. When you sigh in frustration, I do not rebuke you. I wrap you in understanding. I know the limits of your human heart. I know how heavy uncertainty can feel. That is why I am holding you even when you feel like you are barely holding on to me. No second of your waiting is wasted. Not one tear. Not one prayer. Not one restless night. All of it is being woven into something greater than you can imagine. What you see as empty time, I see as preparation. What you feel as delay, I see as development. If you could see from my perspective, you would understand how carefully I am arranging the pieces of your story. You would see doors closing not to punish you, but to redirect you. You would see conversations happening that will soon affect your future. You would see protection surrounding you in ways you did not even ask for. You are not forgotten in a corner of the world. You are held in the center of my attention. Your name is written on my heart. Your dreams matter to me because you matter to me. I am not slow in fulfilling what I have spoken over your life. I am intentional. So breathe, my beloved child. Let your shoulders rest. Release the fear that you have been overlooked. You are seen. You are known. You are remembered. Even in this season of waiting, you are deeply loved. And while you wait, I am working. My beloved child, let me tell you a story that mirrors your life more than you realize. Imagine a small seed placed deep beneath the soil. Once it is covered by earth, it sees nothing but darkness. It feels the weight of the ground pressing in from every side. If that seed had feelings like yours, it might think it had been buried and forgotten. It might believe its purpose had ended the moment the light disappeared. But what the seed cannot see is that the darkness is not its grave, is its beginning. Beneath the soil, something sacred is happening. The shell that once protected the seed begins to break. It does not break because it is being destroyed. It breaks because something greater is being born from within. Roots begin to stretch downward before any sign of life appears above the surface. The growth starts in secret. It starts where no one applauds. It starts where no one even notices. My beloved child, you are in a season that feels like that soil. You feel covered, hidden, pressed down by circumstances you did not choose. You wonder why the light seems distant and why progress feels invisible. But what if I told you that your roots are growing right now? What if I told you that strength is forming beneath your struggle? You see only the surface. I see the roots reaching deep into faith. I see endurance developing where fear once lived. I see resilience pushing its way through doubt. Just because others cannot see your progress does not mean it is not powerful. The most important growth in your life is happening in places no one else can measure. There is a holy transformation that happens underground. The seed must stay in the soil long enough for its roots to anchor. If it were pulled up too soon, it would wither in the sunlight. It would not survive the wind. In the same way, If I brought you into your promise before your roots were strong enough, the pressure of it would overwhelm you. I am not only preparing the blessing for you, I am preparing you for the blessing. Do not despise this hidden season. Do not mistake it for failure. You are not buried in defeat. You are planted in purpose. There is a difference, my beloved child. When something is buried, it is forgotten. When something is planted, it is positioned for growth. The soil may feel heavy, but it is also nourishing you. The very pressure you dislike is strengthening you. The weight that makes you uncomfortable is pushing your roots deeper into trust. I know it feels slow. I know you want to break through the surface and feel the warmth of visible progress. But growth that lasts cannot be rushed. Soon, there will come a moment when what has been happening in secret will break through into the light. A small green shoot will rise from the ground, and those who never saw your struggle will suddenly see your strength. They will call it sudden. They will call it luck. But you will know the truth. You will know about the long nights underground. You will know about the quiet breaking, the stretching, the unseen forming of roots. My beloved child, do not measure your life by what is visible today. Measure it by my faithfulness. The seed does not question the soil because it trusts the design of its creator. In the same way, trust that I know exactly how long you need to remain in this hidden place. You are not stuck. You are growing. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. The darkness around you is not proof of my absence. It is proof that something is taking shape within you. Stay planted. Stay trusting. The surface will break soon enough. My beloved child, I know there are moments when my silence feels heavier than your struggle. You pray, and the words seem to rise only as far as the ceiling. You wait for a sign, a whisper, a sudden shift, but instead you are met with quiet. And in that quiet, questions grow louder. You ask yourself, why is God not answering me? Has he turned away? Has he decided to remain silent? Listen to me closely now. My silence is not absence. My quiet is not rejection. There is a difference between being ignored and being prepared. Think of a loving father preparing a surprise for his child. The child asks every day, is it ready? Can I see it? Is it for me? The father smiles but says nothing because the joy of the surprise depends on the timing. If he reveals it too early, the wonder fades. If he explains every detail, the magic is lost. His silence is not cruelty, it is care. In the same way, when you do not hear me the way you expect, it does not mean I am distant. It means I am working in ways that require focus, precision, and timing beyond what you can see. I am arranging things that cannot be rushed. I am moving hearts you cannot touch. I am shaping outcomes you cannot yet understand. My beloved child, silence stretches your faith. It invites you to trust not only my voice but my character. When I speak clearly, trust feels easier. But when I am quiet, trust becomes deeper. It moves from emotion to foundation. It moves from feeling to knowing. I know that silence can feel uncomfortable. It leaves room for doubt to try to speak. It gives fear an opportunity to whisper lies. But do not let those whispers become your truth. The same God who has carried you before is carrying you now. The same love that sustained you in past storms is sustaining you in this stillness. There are seasons when I speak loudly to guide you. And there are seasons when I speak softly through peace, through subtle shifts, through doors gently closing or slowly opening. If you quiet your anxious thoughts, you will notice that I am not truly silent. I am speaking in ways that require a listening heart rather than hurried ears. Sometimes I am silent because I am teaching you to rest. You have tried to solve everything, fix everything, understand everything. But this moment is not about striving. It is about surrender. It is about trusting that I can handle what you cannot control. My beloved child, even when you do not hear me, I hear you. Every prayer you have spoken still echoes in my heart. Every plea you have cried in frustration is held gently by me. Silence on my end does not erase your voice. It draws you closer to my presence in a different way. Do not confuse quiet with inactivity. Beneath what feels still, movement is happening. Beneath what feels empty, purpose is unfolding. I am never idle in your life. I am intentional. I am precise. I am loving in ways that sometimes look like quiet. Stay with me in this silence. Do not run from it. Do not fill it with despair. Let it become sacred space between us. In this quiet, your roots grow stronger. In this quiet, your trust becomes unshakable. In this quiet, I am shaping a surprise that will make sense of every silent day. Hold on, my beloved child. Even when you hear nothing, I am speaking through my faithfulness. My beloved child, there is something sacred about this season you are walking through. It is not only a season of waiting. It is a season of trust. And trust, my child, is not proven when everything is clear. Trust is revealed when the path ahead is uncertain and you choose to keep walking with me anyway. It is easy to trust when doors open quickly, when prayers are answered in the way you hoped, when blessings arrive without delay. But when the road bends and you cannot see what is around the corner, that is when your heart is invited into deeper faith. That is when your spirit learns to rely on me rather than on visible results. Imagine a small child walking with their father at night. The road is dark, and the child cannot see far ahead. Shadows stretch across the ground. Strange sounds fill the air. The child could panic. The child could refuse to move. But instead, the child reaches up and takes the father's hand. The darkness does not disappear. The path does not instantly light up. But the fear begins to fade because the child trusts the one who can see in the dark. My beloved child, I am that Father. I see what you cannot see. I know what lies ahead. I understand the turns, the timing, the obstacles, and the opportunities. When I ask you to trust me, I am not asking you to walk blindly. I'm asking you to hold my hand. Trust does not mean you will not feel questions rise in your mind. It does not mean you will never feel moments of doubt. It means that even when those feelings come, you choose to believe in my goodness. You choose to remember my faithfulness. You choose to stand on my promises rather than on your fears. This waiting has become a refining fire for your trust. It is shaping you in ways comfort never could. It is teaching you that I am steady even when circumstances shift. It is showing you that my love is constant even when outcomes are uncertain. I know that sometimes you wish I would simply explain everything. You want clarity. You want a detailed plan. You want reassurance in visible form. But if I gave you every answer, your faith would not need to grow. And my desire is not only to bless you with results. My desire is to build a relationship with you that is unshakable. When you trust me in the dark, you are declaring that my character is enough. When you continue forward despite confusion, you are proclaiming that my heart toward you is good. This kind of trust strengthens you. It anchors you. It becomes a foundation that storms cannot destroy. My beloved child, you are stronger than you realize. Every time you resist the urge to give up, you are passing this test of trust. Every time you whisper, I still believe, even through tears, your faith shines brightly in heaven. Hold my hand now. Do not pull away because the path feels unclear. Let your trust be simple. Let it be like the child in the night, resting in the security of a loving Father. You do not have to understand every step. You only need to stay close to me. I will not let you fall. I will not lead you into harm. I will not abandon you halfway through this journey. What I am preparing for you is worth this season of learning to trust. Keep walking with me, my beloved child. The surprise ahead is built on the foundation of this trust. My beloved child, one of the hardest lessons for your heart to accept is that my timing is different from yours. You measure time in days, in deadlines, in urgent needs. You look at calendars and clocks, and you feel the pressure of passing moments. But I do not dwell inside the limits of human time. I see the beginning and the end at once. I understand how every second connects to a greater design. When you say, "It is late," I say, "It is aligning." When you say, "It should have happened by now," I say, "It will happen at the right moment." There is a precision to my timing that you cannot always see from where you stand. What feels delayed to you is often perfectly arranged from my view. Think of a master artist painting a vast and detailed masterpiece. If you look too closely at one small section, you may see only random strokes of color. You may not understand why certain shades overlap or why some areas remain unfinished. But step back, and the full image begins to make sense. My beloved child, you are looking at one corner of the canvas. I am seeing the entire picture. If I move it too quickly, certain pieces would not yet be in place. The right people would not be ready. The right opportunities would not have formed. The right growth inside you would not have matured. Timing is not only about the event itself. It is about everything surrounding it. You may remember times in your past when you wished something had happened sooner. And now, looking back, you can see that if it had unfolded earlier, you would not have been prepared. You would not have had the wisdom you carry now. You would not have had the resilience you developed through other challenges. Even then, my timing was protecting you and shaping you. My beloved child, I do not delay to test your endurance for no reason. I move with intention. I align circumstances carefully. I close doors that would have led to harm. I slow you down when rushing would have cost you peace. Even what you call setbacks are often redirections. You see a closed door and feel rejection. I see a path that was never meant to hold you. You see waiting and feel forgotten. I see preparation and feel love. You see a long road ahead. I see a destination that is certain. There are moments when you try to force what is not yet ready. You buoy. You strive. You attempt to make something happen through sheer effort. But my beloved child, what I have for you does not require you to strain beyond your strength. When it is time, it will open with clarity. When it is time, you will sense peace rather than panic. Trust that I know the rhythm of your life. Trust that I understand the exact second when the breakthrough will bring the most joy and the least harm. I am not careless with your heart. I am not reckless with your destiny. If you could see how carefully I am weaving every detail together, you would rest more easily. Conversations are aligning. Opportunities are forming. Barriers are quietly being removed. Even now, while you wonder when, I am arranging how. So release the pressure of your timeline. Let go of the fear that you are falling behind. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for this moment. My clock is not late. My plan is not stalled. My beloved child, divine timing is not random. It is perfect. And when the moment comes, you will understand why it could not have happened any sooner. Hold on. The alignment is closer than you think. My beloved child, there are moments when you look at a closed door and feel disappointment settle deep within you. You replay what could have been. You imagine how different your life might look if that opportunity had opened, if that relationship had worked, if that plan had succeeded. From your view, it seems like loss. It feels like something good slipped through your fingers. But what you do not always see is that some of my greatest acts of love appear first as delays. There are blessings I have prepared for you, yes, but there are also dangers I have shielded you from. There are paths that looked promising but would have led to heartbreak. There were situations that seemed perfect but carried consequences you could not foresee. Because you cannot see the full road ahead, I sometimes slow your steps. I sometimes close doors quietly. I sometimes allow delays that protect you from pain you never knew was near. Imagine a child reaching eagerly toward a bright flame. The light is beautiful. The warmth looks inviting. But the father sees what the child cannot understand. He gently pulls the child's hand back. A child may cry thinking something wonderful was taken away. Yet the father knows he just prevented a burn. My beloved child, there have been times when I pulled your hand away from something that looked like your answer. You felt confused. You questioned why I allowed it to slip away. You wondered if you had failed. But in truth, I was protecting your heart. I was guarding your future. I was redirecting you towards something safer, stronger, and more aligned with your destiny. Protection does not always feel pleasant. Sometimes it feels like restriction. Sometimes it feels like rejection. But my heart toward you is never to harm. It is always to guard, to guide, to secure your well-being. There are delays that are not about preparation but preservation. If certain things had happened when you wanted them to, they would have collided with other circumstances not yet ready. The timing would have created pressure you could not sustain. The outcome would not have brought the peace you desired. So I step in quietly, rearranging events in ways you did not notice. You may never fully know the dangers I have kept from reaching you. You may not see the accidents that never occurred, the betrayals that never unfolded, the disappointments that never deepened because I intervene. But know this, I am constantly watching over you with care beyond your understanding. My beloved child, trust that every knot yet carries purpose. Every pause has protection woven into it. I am not withholding good from you. I am filtering what reaches you. I am allowing only what will ultimately serve your growth and your joy. You are not unlucky. You are covered. You are not abandoned at a closed door. You are redirected toward a better one. What you see as loss may one day reveal itself as rescue. And when the right door opens, you will feel the difference. It will not require you to force your way in. It will not demand that you compromise your peace. It will align naturally with who you are becoming. That is how you will know it carries my hand upon it. So release the bitterness toward delays. Let go of the belief that every closed path was a failure. Some of those closed paths were my shield around you. My beloved child, I protect what I love, and I love you more deeply than you can imagine. My beloved child, while you are waiting for the blessing, I am shaping you to carry it. You often focus on what you desire to receive, but I am lovingly focused on who you are becoming. Because the gift I have prepared for you is not small, it is not temporary, it is not fragile, and for something lasting to rest in your hands, your heart must be strengthened to hold it. There are prayers you have whispered that are larger than you realize. You have asked for influence, for love, for provision, for opportunity, for restoration. and I heard you. But what you are asking for requires growth within you. If I placed it in your life too soon, it could overwhelm you. It could bring pressure you are not yet ready to handle. So this season is not empty. It is preparation. Think of a vessel being shaped from clay. When it is first formed, it is soft and fragile. It must be carefully molded. It must pass through pressure. It must endure heat. Without that process, it would crack the moment it is filled. My beloved child, I am strengthening the walls of your spirit. I am reinforcing your character. I am building endurance into your soul so that when the blessing arrives, it will not break you. You have grown in patience, even when you felt restless. You have grown in compassion, even through your own pain. You have learned to seek me not only for answers, but for comfort. These are not small changes. They are deep transformations that prepare you for greater responsibility and greater joy. There are lessons that only waiting can teach. Waiting humbles pride. It softens rough edges. It teaches you to value what truly matters. It shifts your focus from immediate satisfaction to lasting fulfillment. In this quiet season, I am teaching you to steward what you will one day receive. You may think you are simply surviving this time, but you are being refined. Old fears are losing their grip. Old insecurities are being exposed and healed. Old patterns that would have harmed your future are being broken gently, but firmly. All of this is part of becoming ready. My beloved child, I do not want to give you a blessing that you cannot sustain. I want to give you something that fits your life perfectly and grows with you. That is why I am patient with your process. That is why I am attentive to every detail of your growth. There are areas of your heart that needed healing before the promise could arrive. There were habits that needed strengthening. There was wisdom that needed forming. And even now, I am continuing this sacred work inside you. Do not measure your readiness by perfection. You do not have to be flawless to receive what I have prepared. But you must be willing. You must be open. You must allow me to shape you without resistance. The blessing and the preparation are connected. They are not separate journeys. They are one unfolding story. Soon, you will look back and see how necessary this season was. You will understand why certain adjustments had to happen first. You will see how your capacity expanded quietly, day by day. My beloved child, trust the shaping. Trust the strengthening. Trust that I know exactly what you need in order to stand firmly when your surprise finally arrives. I am not delaying your joy. I am building the foundation beneath it. And when the time comes, you will not only receive the blessing, you will be ready for it. My beloved child, this season you are in may feel uncomfortable, but it is not meaningless. You are in a stretching season. And stretching, though it can feel tight and even painful, is a sign of growth. No one stretches without the intention of expanding. No one stretches without preparing for movement. In the same way, I am enlarging your capacity for what is ahead. Think of an athlete before a race. They do not run at full speed without first stretching their muscles. They prepare their body so it can endure the distance. The stretching may not feel pleasant. It may feel like tension, but it prevents injury. It increases strength. It allows greater performance. My beloved child, I am preparing you for a greater distance than you realize. You feel tension in your circumstances. You feel pulled in directions that challenge your patience. You feel stretched between what you have known and what you hope for. But this tension is not tearing you apart. It is increasing your flexibility. It is teaching you resilience. It is expanding your perspective. There were dreams you once held that were smaller than what I have in mind for you. There were limits you unknowingly placed on yourself because you could not yet see beyond them. But through this stretching, your vision is widening. You are beginning to imagine possibilities that once felt unreachable. You are learning to believe for more, not from pride, but from trust in me. Stretching also strengthens your endurance. When you are stretched, you discover how much you can actually handle. You learn that you can survive discomfort. You learn that you can adapt. You learn that your strength does not come only from favorable conditions, but from my presence sustaining you. My beloved child, there are parts of your character that are being stretched too. Your patience is growing deeper. Your empathy for others is increasing. Your understanding of yourself is expanding. You are not as fragile as you once thought. You are becoming steady, grounded, and wise. Sometimes stretching requires letting go of what once felt safe. It may mean releasing old habits, outdated expectations, or even certain relationships that no longer align with your growth. That release can feel like loss, but it creates space for something new. It makes room for the next season. You may wonder why the process feels so slow. Why does expansion take time? Because true growth cannot be rushed. If stretched too quickly, something can tear. But when stretching happens gradually and with care, it increases capacity without causing harm. I am careful with you. I am intentional. I know exactly how much you can handle at each step. Do not confuse discomfort with failure. Discomfort often signals that you are moving beyond your old boundaries. It signals that you are not meant to remain where you once were. You are being invited into a wider space, a larger calling, a deeper understanding of who you are in me. My beloved child, this stretching is temporary. It is leading somewhere. Soon, you will move with a strength you did not know you possessed. You will step into opportunities with confidence shaped by this season. You will carry responsibilities that once would have overwhelmed you, but now feel natural because you have been prepared. Stay with me in this stretching. Do not resist it. Do not shrink back to what is familiar simply because it feels easier. Expansion requires courage, and you have that courage within you. I am enlarging your capacity for joy, for peace, for influence, for love. The tension you feel today is creating the space for tomorrow's blessing. Hold steady, my beloved child. You are not being pulled apart. You are being expanded. My beloved child, you have walked through waiting, through silence, through stretching and shaping. And now I lean close to your heart and whisper something tender and powerful. The surprise is closer than you think. You imagine it far away, somewhere beyond months or years. You picture a distant horizon and assume you must travel much farther to reach it. But what if I told you that movement is already happening beneath your feet? What if I told you that what you have prayed for is not approaching from miles away, but is already being positioned right beside you? There are shifts taking place that you cannot yet see. Conversations are unfolding. Decisions are being made. Doors are loosening from hinges that once seemed sealed shut. Just because you do not hear the sound of change does not mean it is not occurring. Sometimes the most powerful transformations happen quietly. You have been faithful in the waiting. You have remained when it would have been easier to walk away. You have continued to hope when disappointment tried to settle into your bones. My beloved child, I honor that faith. I cherish that endurance. And I am not asking you to hold on much longer without reason. The soil has done its work. The roots have grown deep. The stretching has expanded your capacity. The protection has guarded your path. The timing has aligned carefully. Now, you are nearer than you realize. Do not let weariness blind you to proximity. Sometimes when travelers are closest to their destination, they feel the most tired. They consider stopping because the journey has been long. But if they could see just beyond the next hill, they would find the very thing they have been seeking. Lift your head, my beloved child. Let hope rise again. Let anticipation gently replace despair. I am not teasing you with promises. I am preparing you for fulfillment. There is joy forming at the edge of your present reality. You may not know the exact day or hour. I do not always reveal that. But I reveal this. You are not far. The pieces are nearly in place. The story is nearing a turning point. What once felt impossible is becoming possible in ways you could not have orchestrated on your own. Stay expectant. Speak life instead of defeat. Guard your heart against the lie that nothing is changing. Everything is shifting beneath the surface. And as you feel this nearness, as you sense that something is about to break open in your life, I invite you into something sacred. When you choose to sow into this mission of spreading my word, you are planting seeds in fields far beyond your own life. There are weary souls waiting for light, and your act of giving becomes oil in their lamps. I speak to you now. As you give, it shall be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. When you release your seed through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link placed in the description and shown as a QR code in this video, you are not funding a platform. You are opening heavens over hearts. This is your moment to respond to my invitation. Do not hesitate when I stir you to act, for obedience in this hour carries harvest. What you sow becomes a river that reaches someone standing in darkness. I bless every hand that gives as an extension of my love. I will multiply what you release and return it with peace and provision. Step into this divine partnership now. Sow the seed. Let your generosity become someone else's miracle. My beloved child, there is something I want you to understand about your prayers. When you ask me for something, I do not simply prepare the exact image you hold in your mind. I look deeper than the surface of your request. I look into the desire beneath the words. And sometimes, what you truly long for is greater than what you dared to ask. You may have prayed for relief, but what you truly need is restoration. You may have asked for an open door, but what you truly desire is a path that leads to lasting fulfillment. You may have requested a small breakthrough, but I see the capacity in you for something far more abundant. So while you wait, I am not ignoring your prayer. I am refining it. Think of a craftsman shaping a precious stone. When it is first discovered, it looks rough and unremarkable. It carries potential, but it needs careful cutting and polishing to reveal its brilliance. If it were handed to you in its raw state, you might not recognize its value. But after refinement, it shines in ways that capture light from every angle. In the same way, I am refining the answer to your prayer. What you imagined was good, but what I am preparing is better. What you envisioned was enough, but what I am designing carries depth, strength, and sustainability. My beloved child, sometimes you pray from a place of pain. You ask simply for the discomfort to end. And I understand that. I feel your urgency. I see your longing for peace. But I do not want to give you a temporary escape if I can offer you lasting transformation. There are details you did not think to include in your prayer because you could not foresee them. There are aspects of your future that require careful adjustment. I'm aligning not only the blessing itself, but the environment in which it will thrive. I am considering the long-term impact on your heart, your relationships, your purpose. You once prayed for love, but I am refining that prayer so you receive not only affection, but stability. You prayed for success, but I am shaping that request so it includes integrity and peace. You prayed for provision, but I am preparing not only enough for today, but security for tomorrow. If I handed you the first version of your request, it might have satisfied you for a moment, but it would not have fulfilled you deeply. I do not desire to give you something that fades quickly. I desire to give you something that reflects my goodness fully. This refining process can feel like delay because you cannot see the adjustments taking place. But behind what feels still, improvement is unfolding. Upgrades are being made. Edges are being smoothed. Weak foundations are being strengthened. My beloved child, trust that I know how to answer you better than you know how to ask. Trust that I am not withholding what is good. I am enhancing it. I am expanding it. I am elevating it beyond your original expectation. There will come a moment when the answer arrives, and you will realize it fits you more perfectly than you imagined. It will carry peace rather than chaos. It will align with your growth. It will confirm that the waiting was not empty. Do not cling too tightly to the exact shape of your request. Leave room for me to exceed it. Leave space for me to surprise you. What you asked for is being refined, my beloved child, and what is coming will shine brighter than what you first envisioned. My beloved child, there are moments when you look at your life and see only stillness. You see unanswered emails, unchanged circumstances, quiet rooms, and ordinary days. You measure progress by what is visible, and when nothing obvious moves, you assume nothing is happening. But if you could step behind the curtain for just a moment, you would be astonished. There is movement in places your eyes cannot reach. There are conversations unfolding that will intersect with your life at just the right time. There are hearts being softened. There are opportunities being formed. There are obstacles being quietly removed before you even encounter them. Heaven is not idle. Heaven is active on your behalf. Think of a grand stage production. Before the curtain rises, the audience sees only a closed fabric wall. It appears silent and still. But behind that curtain, there is careful coordination. Lights are being adjusted. Actors are taking their places. Final details are being perfected. Every cue is timed precisely. When the curtain finally lifts, everything appears seamless. The audience sees beauty, unaware of the intricate preparation that made it possible. My beloved child, your life is not random scenes strung together without purpose. It is a carefully orchestrated story. I am arranging details in ways you cannot observe from your current seat. I am weaving together threads that may seem unrelated now but will form a meaningful pattern later. There are people you have not met yet who will play significant roles in your next chapter. There are skills you have developed quietly that will soon find their proper use. There are doors that seem locked now, but their hinges are loosening with every passing day. You may feel forgotten because you cannot see the progress. But you are not waiting in emptiness. You are waiting in preparation. The curtain is not closed because nothing is happening. It is closed because timing matters. Sometimes if you saw the full picture too soon, you would try to rush it. You would step out of place. You would attempt to control parts that are not yours to manage. So I lovingly keep certain details hidden until the right moment. Not to frustrate you, but to protect the unfolding. My beloved child, trust that every prayer you have spoken has set something in motion. When you asked, I began working. When you believe it, alignment began forming. When you surrendered, pathways started opening. Even now, when you listen to these words, something is shifting in your favor. You may not feel it. You may not notice it. But my hand is steady, and my plan is advancing. Do not let visible stillness deceive you. Still waters can run deep. Quiet rooms can hold preparation. Closed curtains can conceal miracles. There will come a day when the curtain rises on this season. You will look back at these quiet moments and realize they were full of unseen activity. You will understand that the delays were part of a larger rhythm. You will see how precisely everything came together. Until then, remain steady. Continue trusting. Continue believing that behind what you see, more is happening than you can imagine. My beloved child, heaven is working behind the curtain. And when it opens, you will step into a scene prepared with care, intention, and love just for you. My beloved child, there is a gentle urgency in my voice now, not one of pressure but of loving caution. Do not abandon the process. Do not walk away from what is forming simply because it feels slow. You are closer than your emotions are telling you. There is a temptation that comes in long seasons of waiting. It whispers, "This is too hard. This is taking too long. Maybe it is not meant for you." That whisper grows louder when fatigue sets in. It grows stronger when you compare your journey to someone else's. It grows sharper when you experience another small disappointment. But my beloved child, that whisper is not my voice. I do not rush you, but I also do not want you to retreat. Think of someone digging for water in dry ground. They dig and dig, and at first, they find only dirt. Their hands grow tired. Your hope begins to fade. If they stop just a few inches before reaching the underground stream, they may believe there was never water beneath them. Yet if they had continued a little longer, they would have discovered abundance flowing just below the surface. My beloved child, you may be digging through what feels like dry soil right now. You may feel like your efforts, your prayers, your faith have produced nothing visible. But what if you are only inches away? What if the very breakthrough you long for is just beyond this moment of weariness? The process is shaping you in ways that cannot be undone. It is teaching you perseverance. It is strengthening your character. It is aligning your heart with my rhythm. If you walk away too soon, you interrupt what is nearly complete. I know you are tired. I know you have repeated the same prayers. I know you have told yourself to be strong more times than you can count. But strength does not always look like dramatic endurance. Sometimes strength is simply choosing not to quit today. Do not abandon the growth that has already taken place. Do not dismiss the lessons you have learned. You have come too far to turn back now. You have endured too much to let this chapter end in surrender to doubt. My beloved child, remember why you began. Remember the promise that stirred your heart. Remember the quiet confirmation you felt when you first trusted me with this journey. That was not imagination. That was not foolishness. That was faith. There is refinement happening that requires time. There are final details being arranged. There are adjustments taking place that are bringing everything into harmony. You may not see the finish line, but it is closer than you think. If you abandon the process now, you may carry regret. But if you stay, if you endure just a little longer, you will step into fulfillment with confidence and gratitude. The reward will not only be the blessing itself, it will be the knowledge that you remained faithful when it would have been easier to walk away. My beloved child, do not measure your progress by feelings alone. Feelings shift like the wind. Measure it by my faithfulness, which does not change. Stay rooted. Stay steady. Stay open to what I am completing in you. The process is not punishment. It is preparation. It is alignment. It is love working patiently in your life. Hold on a little longer. Do not abandon what is almost ready to bloom. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about your tears. The ones you tried to hide. The ones that fall quietly in the dark. The ones that come when you are alone and finally stop pretending to be strong. You may see them as weakness. You may wish you did not cry so easily. But I see something different. I see seeds being watered. Every tear you have shed in this season has meaning. None of them are wasted. When your heart feels heavy and the tears come without warning, it is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that something deep inside you cares, hopes, longs, and believes. Tears are not evidence of defeat. They are evidence of depth. Imagine a field during a long dry season. The ground becomes hard. The air grows heavy. Nothing seems to move. But when the rain finally falls, it softens the soil. It prepares the earth to receive new life. Without water, seeds cannot grow. Without moisture, roots cannot deepen. My beloved child, your tears are watering the soil of your future. You cried when the door closed. You cried when the call did not come. You cried when the prayer seemed unanswered. And in those moments, you felt fragile. But I was close to you. I was collecting every tear. I was witnessing every tremble in your voice. Your tears have softened places in your heart that once were hardened by disappointment. They have opened you to compassion for others who struggle. They have drawn you closer to me in vulnerability. Through your tears, pride has melted away. Through your tears, honesty has emerged. There is something sacred about a heart that can still cry. It means it has not given up. It means it still hopes. It means it still desires connection and purpose. Do not be ashamed of your emotions. I designed your heart to feel deeply. I do not ask you to suppress your pain. I invite you to bring it to me. When you cry out in frustration, I do not turn away. I draw nearer. When your tears fall, they are not falling into emptiness. They are falling into my hands. And just as rain eventually produces growth in a field, your tears are nurturing something unseen. They are watering patience. They are watering humility. They are watering resilience. They are watering faith that will soon bear fruit. There will come a day when you look back on this season and realize that the very moments you felt weakest were shaping your greatest strength. You will see that the tears you thought were signs of breaking were actually signs of becoming. My beloved child, I am not indifferent to your sorrow. I do not minimize your pain. I honor it. I understand it. And I promise you this, what hath been watered with tears will bloom with joy. The miracle forming in your life is not untouched by your struggle. It is being nourished by it. The compassion you have gained, the empathy you have developed, the endurance you have built, these are all part of the harvest. Let yourself feel. Let yourself release. Do not carry your sorrow alone. Bring it to me again and again. I am patient with your process. Your tears are not signs that you are far from your blessing. They are signs that the soil is ready. And soon, my beloved child, you will see green shoots rising from the ground that once felt barren. What you have watered in sorrow will blossom in joy. My beloved child, hope is one of the most powerful gifts I have placed inside you. It is small enough to seem fragile, yet strong enough to carry you through storms. In seasons like this, when waiting feels long and answers feel delayed, hope becomes your lifeline. I know there are days when your hope feels thin. You wake up determined to believe, but by evening you feel worn down by the same unanswered questions. You try to hold on to positive thoughts, yet disappointment knocks at the door of your mind. In those moments, you may wonder if hope is foolish. You may question whether it is safer to expect nothing at all. But listen to me carefully, my beloved child. Hope is not denial. Hope is not pretending that challenges do not exist. Hope is the quiet decision to believe that your story is not over. It is the courage to trust that what you see today is not the final chapter. Think of a small lamp burning in a dark room. The darkness may be vast, but the light refuses to surrender. It does not eliminate the night all at once, yet it changes the atmosphere. It makes it possible to move forward without stumbling. That is what hope does within you. It keeps you moving. It keeps you breathing. It keeps you believing that morning will come. Hope is anchored in who I am, not in what you currently see. If your hope were based only on circumstances, it would rise and fall constantly. But when your hope rests in my character, it becomes steady. I have never failed you, even in seasons when you did not understand me. I have never abandoned you, even when silence surrounded you. My beloved child, guard your hope carefully. Do not allow cynicism to take its place. Do not let the opinions of others extinguish it. There may be voices around you that say, "It is unrealistic. It will never change. You should stop expecting." But those voices do not know the plans I have for you. Hope is a seed of expectation. It whispers, something good is still possible. It keeps your heart open rather than closed. It keeps your spirit flexible rather than hardened. When you protect your hope, you are making space for joy to enter. You may not know the details of what is coming. You may not know the exact timing. But you can know this: I am faithful, and hope rooted in faithfulness cannot be defeated by delay. There will be moments when you must choose hope deliberately. It will not always feel automatic. Sometimes you will have to speak it aloud, even if your voice trembles. Sometimes you will have to remind yourself of past victories, of prayers already answered, of doors that once seemed impossible but eventually opened. My beloved child, your hope honors me. It declares that you trust my goodness even when you cannot trace my hand. It proclaims that you believe love is still at work behind the scenes. Do not let this season steal your expectation. Lift your eyes beyond the present challenge. Let hope rise like the sun over a horizon you cannot yet fully see. The surprise I am preparing will meet a heart that still dares to hope. And when it arrives, your hope will not feel foolish. It will feel fulfilled. Hold on to hope, my beloved child. It is lighting your path even now. My beloved child, when you think about the surprise I am preparing for you, you often imagine it within the limits of your current understanding. You picture a single answered prayer, one breakthrough, one open door that changes your situation. And yes, there is something personal and beautiful coming your way. But what I am building is larger than a single moment. I am not only answering a request, I am constructing a legacy. You see one need. I see the generations that may be touched by your obedience. You see one opportunity. I see the ripple effect it will create in the lives of others. You see relief from pressure. I see restoration that will overflow beyond you. There are blessings that end with the person who receives them, and there are blessings that begin with the person who receives them. What I am shaping in your life is not small and isolated. It carries influence. It carries impact. It carries weight that extends farther than you can imagine. Think of a stone dropped into still water. The initial splash is brief, but the ripples continue outward long after the surface settles. In the same way, the surprise I am preparing will not stop at you. It will move through you. It will bless relationships, strengthen others, and inspire hearts that watch your journey. My beloved child, this is why the preparation has been thorough. This is why the waiting hath been deep. I am not building something temporary. I am laying foundations strong enough to support more than you can currently see. There are qualities I have been cultivating in you that are meant to serve others. The compassion you gain through hardship will comfort someone else in their pain. The patience you developed in waiting will guide someone who feels rushed by life. The resilience you learn through stretching will inspire someone who feels weak. You may have thought this season was only about you surviving, but it has also been about you becoming a source of strength for others. I am weaving your story into a larger tapestry. The blessing I am preparing is connected to purpose. It aligns with who you are becoming. It fits the calling placed upon your life. It will not only satisfy your need, it will awaken new possibilities. Do not limit your expectation to a small answer. Open your heart to something expansive. What I am building may look different from what you originally imagined, but it will carry more depth, more meaning, and more influence. My beloved child, I delight in surprising you with goodness. I delight in exceeding your expectations. But I also delight in using your life as a channel of hope for others. There will be a moment when you step into this next chapter and realize it is bigger than you thought. You will see connections you did not notice before. You will recognize how every lesson prepared you for responsibilities that once seemed overwhelming. Trust that I am thinking beyond today. Trust that I am seeing beyond your immediate horizon. Trust that I am building something that will stand firm long after this waiting season fades into memory. You are not simply waiting for a gift. You are being prepared for a greater role in a story that reaches farther than you know. And when it unfolds, my beloved child, you will understand that the wait was not just about receiving. It was about becoming part of something greater than you imagined. My beloved child, there is a moment in every long night when the darkness feels the deepest. It is that quiet hour when the world is still, when shadows seem heavier, when hope feels far away. If you have ever awakened before dawn, you know this feeling. Midnight has passed, but morning has not yet arrived. The air is thick with silence, and the sky shows no sign of light. This is where you feel you are right now. You have endured much already. You have waited, trusted, stretched, wept, and hoped. And yet, you look around and still see darkness. You wonder if the morning will truly come. You question whether this night will ever end. But my beloved child, hear me clearly. The darkest hour does not mean the sun has disappeared. It only means it is about to rise. There is a sacred rhythm woven into creation. Light always gives way to day. The sun has never failed to appear at its appointed time. Even when clouds cover the sky, even when storms rage, the dawn still comes. It is steady. It is faithful. It does not forget its path. In the same way, the light prepared for your life is certain. Sometimes the reason the darkness feels so heavy is because you are closer to the breakthrough than you realize. Just before dawn, the night reaches its final depth. It gathers its last breath before surrendering to light. And in that moment, everything may seem unchanged. But beneath the horizon, the sun is already rising. My beloved child, do not interpret this midnight as abandonment. Do not mistake this stillness for defeat. There is movement happening beneath what you can see. The light is advancing quietly. You may feel weary. Midnight tests endurance. It tempts you to give up, to assume that nothing will shift. But if you hold on a little longer, you will begin to see the faintest line of light on the horizon. It may start small, barely noticeable. But once dawn begins, it cannot be reversed. Think of all the times in your past when you believed a situation would never change. There were moments when you felt trapped in darkness. Yet here you are now, having survived what once seemed impossible. The same faithfulness that carried you through those nights is with you now. My beloved child, I am not intimidated by your midnight. I am not confused by your confusion. I am not shaken by your uncertainty. I know exactly when the morning will break, and when it does, it will not come timidly. It will spill light into every shadow. It will warm places that felt cold. It will reveal details that were hidden in the dark. You will look around and see clearly what once seemed impossible to understand. Until then, rest in me. Even if you cannot sleep peacefully, let your spirit rest. Midnight is not permanent. It is transitional. The surprise you are waiting for is wrapped in the coming dawn. The promise you hold on to is traveling with the sunrise. You may not see it yet, but it is already on its way. Stay with me in this final stretch of night. Hold steady. Keep breathing. Keep trusting. Morning is not a distant dream, my beloved child. It is closer than you think. My beloved child, you have entrusted me with the big picture. You have said, I believe you have something good for me. But now I am gently inviting you deeper. Trust me with the details. It is one thing to believe that I will bring you into a new season. It is another thing to release how it happens. Your heart often wants to outline the steps. You imagine the phone call, the conversation, the exact timing, the precise outcome. You replay scenarios in your mind, trying to predict how everything will unfold. And when it does not happen the way you pictured, anxiety tries to rise. But my beloved child, peace comes when you loosen your grip on the details. Imagine a tapestry being woven. From the back side, it looks like tangled threads crossing in every direction. There seems to be no pattern, no order, no beauty. If you only saw that side, you might assume the design was flawed. But on the front side, there is artistry. There is intention. There is harmony. Right now, you are looking at the back of the tapestry. You see loose ends. You see knots. You see delays that make no sense. But I see the front. I see how each thread connects. I see how even the darker strands add depth and contrast to the final design. When you try to control the details, you add tension to your spirit. You become restless, constantly evaluating whether things are moving fast enough. But when you trust me with the details, your heart can rest even when answers are not yet visible. My beloved child, I know the specific door that needs to open. I know the exact conversation that must take place. I know the timing that will align everything perfectly. You do not have to manage these pieces. You do not have to orchestrate the outcome. That is my role. You are responsible for faithfulness in the present moment. I am responsible for the unfolding of the future. There are times when you think, if only this one thing would happen, everything would change. But you cannot see the ripple effects of each detail. You cannot see how one small adjustment could impact many areas of your life. That is why I ask you to trust me beyond your understanding. Surrender does not mean apathy. It does not mean you stop caring. It means you release the burden of control. It means you say, I will do what is in front of me today, and I will let you handle what is ahead. My beloved child, when you let go of the details, you create space for surprise. You allow me to work in ways that exceed your imagination. If you cling too tightly to your own version of the story, you may miss the beauty of the one I am writing. Trust that I am not careless with your future. Trust that I am attentive to every nuance. Trust that even the smallest pieces are being placed with precision. The surprise that awaits you is not random. It is carefully designed. It fits you. It understands you. It reflects my knowledge of your heart. Release the need to predict every step. Release the anxiety over timelines. Release the fear that something might go wrong. I hold the details, my beloved child. And I hold you. My beloved child, there is something beautiful about a gift that remains hidden for a time. When a present is wrapped carefully and placed out of sight, it does not mean it does not exist. It means it is waiting for the right moment to be revealed. Right now, your blessing feels hidden. You cannot see its shape. You cannot measure its size. You cannot touch it. And because you cannot see it, you sometimes question whether it is real. But my beloved child, the hidden does not mean the absent. It means the prepared. Think of a surprise planned by someone who loves deeply. They gather the pieces quietly. They choose the details thoughtfully. They imagine the joy on the face of the one who will receive it. The preparation often takes longer than the unveiling. The waiting builds anticipation, even if the one waiting does not yet know why. In the same way, I have been preparing something for you in secret places. You may look at your current circumstances and see only ordinary days. You may feel as though nothing significant is happening. But beneath what appears simple, something sacred is being formed. The gift is being wrapped in layers of timing, alignment, and growth. If I revealed it too early, it would not carry the same depth of joy. If I handed it to you before certain lessons were complete, you might not recognize its full value. Waiting increases appreciation. It deepens gratitude. It enlarges your capacity to receive. My beloved child, there are hidden gifts in this season itself. Even before the larger surprise arrives, you are receiving strength you did not know you possessed. You are gaining clarity about what truly matters. You are discovering resilience that will serve you long after this chapter ends. But beyond these internal gifts, there is something tangible coming. There is a shift prepared. There is an opening waiting for its appointed time. It has your name on it. You may ask, why hide it at all? Because revelation requires readiness. Because surprise carries wonder. Because joy is magnified when it arrives at the perfect moment. Remember times in your past when something good came unexpectedly. The timing may not have matched your original plan, but when it arrived, it felt unmistakably right. That is the kind of unveiling I am preparing for you now. Do not let impatience convince you that nothing is being held for you. Do not assume that because your hands feel empty, they will remain that way. Your hands are being prepared to hold what is coming. My beloved child, I delight in giving good gifts. I delight in watching your eyes widen with gratitude. I delight in seeing your heart overflow with relief and joy. But I also delight in preparing those gifts carefully. The hidden season will not last forever. There will be a moment when the wrapping is removed. There will be a day when what has been concealed steps into the light. And when it does, you will understand why it could not have come sooner. Until that day, trust the hidden work. Trust the unseen preparation. Trust that behind the curtain, in quiet places, your gift is being made ready. The surprise is not a myth. It is a promise. And it is closer than you think. My beloved child, while you have been watching the horizon for change, something powerful hath been happening within you. You have been looking outward for signs of breakthrough, but I have been cultivating strength on the inside. Strength does not always announce itself with loud victories. Often, it grows quietly. It forms in the hidden places of your character. It develops in the moments when you choose to keep going even though you feel tired. It deepens when you resist the urge to give up. If you could see yourself through my eyes, you would notice how much you have changed. The challenges that once would have shaken you completely now only bend you slightly. The disappointments that once would have broken your spirit now cause you to pause, but not collapse. This is not accidental. This is growth. Think of a tree standing through many seasons. At first, when it is young, even a small storm can threaten its stability. But as time passes, its roots push deeper into the earth. Its trunk grows thicker. Its branches stretch wider. Storms may still come, but they do not uproot it so easily. My beloved child, you are becoming that tree. The waiting has driven your roots deeper into trust. The silence has strengthened your reliance on my presence. The stretching has increased your flexibility and resilience. You are not as fragile as you once believed. You are becoming steady. There have been moments when you surprise yourself. You handled a situation with calm instead of panic. You responded with patience where you once would have reacted with frustration. You chose faith when fear tried to take control. These are signs of strength growing inside you. Strength does not mean you never feel emotion. It does not mean you never feel tired. It means you do not surrender to despair. It means you continue forward even when progress feels slow. My beloved child, the strength I am building in you is not only for this season. It is for the season ahead. The blessing that is coming will require stability. It will require confidence. It will require the ability to stand firm when new responsibilities arise. I am not preparing you to merely receive. I am preparing you to sustain. There are opportunities ahead that would have overwhelmed the version of you from a year ago. There are conversations ahead that require wisdom you did not yet have. There are decisions ahead that demand clarity shaped by this very waiting. Do not underestimate the transformation happening inside you. Do not dismiss your growth simply because it feels gradual. Gradual growth is often the most lasting. You may not feel strong every day. There will still be moments of doubt. There will still be days when you feel stretched thin. But even on those days, the foundation beneath you is firmer than before. My beloved child, I am proud of the strength you are developing, not because you are striving to prove yourself, but because you are allowing me to shape you. When the surprise arrives, you will stand differently. You will carry it differently. You will handle it with grace shaped by this season. Strength is not coming someday. It is already within you, and it is growing every day you choose to trust me. My beloved child, there is something within you that has not given up. Even when you felt discouraged, even when tears blurred your vision, even when questions filled your mind, you are still here. You are still listening. You are still hoping. That is faith. Faith is not always loud. It does not always look like bold declarations or dramatic confidence. Sometimes faith is quiet endurance. Sometimes it is simply whispering, "I still trust you," when everything around you feels uncertain. You may look at your faith and think it is small. You may compare yourself to others who seem unshakable and wonder if your belief is weak. But my beloved child, faith does not have to be perfect to be powerful. Even the smallest spark of faith can light a path through darkness. There were moments in this journey when you considered giving up. You thought about settling for less. You thought about lowering your expectations to avoid disappointment. But something inside you resisted. Something inside you refused to fully surrender to doubt. That resistance was not accidental. It was the faith I placed within you. Faith that refuses to quit is not stubborn pride. It is deep trust rooted in relationship. It is the decision to believe in my goodness even when circumstances challenge that belief. Think of a traveler crossing a long desert. The sun is hot. The road is dry. Water feels scarce. There are moments when the traveler wants to sit down and stop moving. But they remember the promise of an oasis ahead. They remember why they began the journey. And so they take another step, then another, and another. My beloved child, your steps of faith may feel small, but they are significant. Every time you choose hope over despair, you are moving forward. Every time you pray again after feeling disappointed, you are strengthening your spirit. Every time you resist cynicism and choose trust, you are advancing. Faith does not eliminate questions. It coexists with them. It says, I may not understand everything, but I choose to believe that God is still good. That kind of faith is precious. You have shown courage in ways you do not fully recognize. You have continued to seek me even when you did not feel immediate answers. You have remained open even when it would have been easier to close your heart. My beloved child, I see your persistence. I honor your unwillingness to completely walk away. I cherish the way you still look to me, even if sometimes it is through weary eyes. Faith that refuses to quit is being strengthened in you for a reason. The blessing ahead requires a heart that has endured. It requires someone who knows how to hold on when things are unclear. Do not be ashamed of your moments of struggle. They do not disqualify your faith. They deepen it. They refine it. They make it resilient rather than fragile. You may not feel like a person of great faith, but the fact that you are still here, still listening, still hoping, tells a different story. Keep holding on, my beloved child. Your faith, even in its quiet form, is enough, and it is carrying you closer to the surprise I have prepared. My beloved child, there comes a moment in every long season of waiting when the atmosphere begins to shift. It may not be loud at first. It may not come with dramatic signs. But something subtle changes. The weight begins to lift. The air feels different. The silence no longer feels empty, but expectant. You are approaching that moment. Imagine standing before a door that has remained closed for a long time. You have knocked. You have waited. You have questioned whether anyone was on the other side. At times, you even considered walking away. But now, if you listen closely, you can hear movement behind it. You can sense that something is about to happen. My beloved child, the door is about to open. This does not mean that every challenge will vanish overnight. It does not mean life will suddenly become without complexity. But it does mean that a shift is coming. What once felt stuck will begin to move. What once felt blocked will begin to loosen. What once seemed impossible will begin to show signs of possibility. You may not yet see the handle turning, but I see it. I know the exact moment when it will swing wide. I know the step you will take as you cross the threshold into something new. There are doors I have kept closed for your protection. There are doors that were not aligned with your purpose. But the one that is prepared for you carries my peace. It carries confirmation. It will not demand that you compromise who you are becoming. When this door opens, you will sense clarity. You will feel alignment. You will recognize that it fits. Not because it is easy, but because it resonates with the growth that has taken place within you. My beloved child, prepare your heart now. Not with anxiety, but with readiness. Let go of the belief that nothing will change. Release the expectation of disappointment. Stand with quiet anticipation. The opening of this door is connected to every lesson you have learned. It is tied to the patience you developed, the trust you strengthened, the tears you shed, the faith that refused to quit. Nothing has been wasted. There may be a small hesitation when it begins to open. You may think, is this really it? because waiting can condition you to expect delay. But when you feel my peace settle over your heart, you will know. Do not shrink back when the opportunity appears. Do not doubt yourself when the shift begins. You have been prepared for this. Sometimes doors open slowly, allowing you to adjust your eyes to new light. Sometimes they open suddenly, surprising you with brightness. Either way, when it happens, it will not be random. My beloved child, you are not standing before an empty wall. You are standing before a threshold. The sound you are about to hear is not the echo of more waiting. It is the gentle click of a lock turning. It is the signal that alignment hath been completed. Stay ready. Stay hopeful. Stay attentive. The door is about to open. My beloved child, I know how tired you are. Not just physically, but deep in your spirit. Waiting can create a quiet exhaustion that others do not see. You continue showing up. You continue believing. You continue hoping. But inside, there are moments when you feel worn thin. You wonder how much longer you must carry this weight. You question whether relief will truly come. You try to encourage yourself, but sometimes your own voice feels weak. Listen to me now. This weariness is not permanent. Joy is on its way. There is a divine exchange that happens when a long season ends. The same heart that carried sorrow becomes the heart that carries gratitude. The same eyes that shed tears become the eyes that widen in wonder. The same voice that whispered through doubt becomes the voice that laughs in relief. Joy does not erase what you endured. It transforms how you see it. Think of a woman who has labored through the night. The pain feels overwhelming. The hours feel endless. But when morning comes and she holds new life in her arms, the pain is no longer the focus. It does not disappear from memory, but it is overshadowed by something greater. My beloved child, your current weariness is like that labor. It feels intense. It feels prolonged. But it is not without purpose. And when the breakthrough arrives, your heart will shift from survival to celebration. There will be a moment when you exhale deeply and realize the tension has lifted. There will be a day when you look back at this season and say, I made it. The weight that pressed on your shoulders will no longer feel heavy. It will feel like a story of endurance. Joy has a way of arriving suddenly after long waiting. It can enter quietly at first, like a soft sunrise, or it can rush in unexpectedly, like rain after drought. But when it comes, it will not feel forced. It will feel natural. It will feel earned through trust. My beloved child, I do not desire for you to live in constant strain. I do not delight in your exhaustion. I allow seasons of stretching and waiting because they prepare you, but I also prepare seasons of rest and rejoicing. The joy that is coming is not shallow. It is not temporary excitement. It is deep, steady gladness rooted in fulfillment. It will bring peace to places that once felt anxious. It will bring light to memories that once felt heavy. You may struggle to imagine joy right now because your focus has been on endurance. But allow yourself to picture it. Imagine smiling without forcing it. Imagine sleeping without restless thoughts. Imagine speaking about your life with gratitude instead of frustration. That picture is not fantasy. It is foreshadowing. My beloved child, your weariness is a sign that you have been fighting for hope. But soon, you will not have to fight so hard. Soon you will simply receive. Let your heart hold on to this promise. Joy will replace this weariness. Not because you earn it perfectly, but because I am faithful. Hold on just a little longer. The laughter you thought was lost is returning. The lightness you once felt is coming back. And when joy settles into your life again, you will understand why this season could not last forever. My beloved child, there will come a day very soon when you look back on this season and see it differently. What feels now like delay, like interruption, like unnecessary waiting, will reveal itself as design. Right now, you experience events in fragments. You see one closed door, one unanswered call, one postponed opportunity. You feel each piece separately, and it is difficult to understand how they connect. But from my perspective, nothing in your journey has been random. Every pause carried intention. Every redirection served a purpose. Every silence shaped something in you that could not have formed any other way. Think of an architect drawing blueprints for a home. The foundation is laid first. It takes time, and from the outside, it looks unimpressive. There are trenches, concrete, and empty space. If someone judged the project at that stage, they might assume nothing beautiful would ever rise from it. But the architect sees the completed structure long before the walls stand. My beloved child, I have been building according to a blueprint you cannot yet see. There were moments when you thought, if only this had happened sooner. But if it had, other pieces would not have been ready. Relationships would not have been aligned. Your character would not have been strengthened. Your perspective would not have matured. Delay was not denial. It was coordination. I have been aligning circumstances with precision. I have been positioning you in the right places at the right times. Even the setbacks were adjustments to ensure the final outcome would stand firm. You may recall times when something you desperately wanted did not happen. You felt crushed. You questioned me. But later, you realized that if that door had opened, you would have missed something far better. That realization is a glimpse into how I work. My beloved child, design often feels slow when you are living inside it. But when you step back, you will see patterns. You will see how one event prepared you for the next. You will see how each lesson added stability to your future. There is no wasted chapter in your life. The painful conversations, the quiet months, the unexpected detours, all of them have been woven into a greater story. What you interpreted as stagnation was often protection. What you labeled as disappointment was often redirection. What you experienced as silence was often careful planning. Trust that I am not improvising your life. I am intentional. I am thoughtful. I am deeply aware of how every detail impacts your future. When the surprise finally unfolds in full clarity, you will not only celebrate the blessing, you will appreciate the journey. You will see that each delay contributed to the beauty of the outcome. My beloved child, nothing hath been out of control. Nothing has slipped through my hands. Even the moments that felt chaotic were held within my design. Rest in this truth. Your story is not a collection of random delays. It is a carefully orchestrated unfolding. And very soon, you will begin to see the design that has been forming all along. My beloved child, there are questions in your heart that remain unanswered. You had asked me why certain doors closed, why certain prayers seemed delayed, why certain paths turned unexpectedly. And though I have comforted you, I have not yet revealed every reason. But hear me now, you will understand soon. Understanding often arrives after fulfillment. Clarity often follows breakthrough. When you stand on the other side of this season, the pieces that once confused you will begin to align. What once felt unfair will make sense in light of what I was protecting you from. What once felt slow will reveal itself as precise timing. Imagine walking through a winding path in a dense forest. From where you stand, you can only see a few steps ahead. The turns feel random. The direction seems unclear. But once you reach the top of the hill and look back, you see the entire route. You notice how each bend avoided a steep drop. You see how each curve guided you safely around danger. My beloved child, you are still walking the path, but the viewpoint is coming. There will be a moment when you say, "Now I see." Not because you forced understanding, but because experience has revealed it. When the right door opens, you will understand why the wrong one stayed shut. When the right person enters your life, you will understand why others were not meant to remain. When the right opportunity aligns, you will understand why previous attempts failed. Clarity is often the reward of patience. You may feel restless now because you want explanation before movement. But sometimes explanation comes with the movement. It arrives hand in hand with the blessing. My beloved child, trust that I am not withholding understanding to frustrate you. I am allowing it to unfold naturally. If I explained everything now, it would not carry the same depth of meaning. Experience will teach you in ways that words cannot. Soon, what feels confusing will feel purposeful. What feels uncertain will feel orchestrated. What feels delayed will feel perfectly timed. You will see how your character needed strengthening before certain responsibilities arrive. You will see how your heart needed healing before certain relationships flourished. You will see how your faith needed deepening before certain doors could open. Understanding is not far from you. It is waiting at the intersection of fulfillment and hindsight. My beloved child, do not rush to demand answers before their time. Let your heart rest in trust. You do not need full clarity to move forward. You only need confidence in my goodness. And I promise you this. There is coming a day when gratitude will replace confusion. You will look back at this very season and whisper, "Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for not answering too soon. Thank you for knowing better than I did." The fog will lift. The path will become clear. The reasons will surface gently. You will understand soon. Until then, hold my hand and keep walking. My beloved child, when waiting stretches long and answers seem delayed, your vision can slowly lower. You begin to focus only on what is directly in front of you. The problem, the obstacle, the silence. Your thoughts circle around what has not yet happened. Your eyes fix on the closed door, the empty space, the unchanged circumstance. But now, I gently invite you to lift your eyes higher. When you only look at the ground, you see dust, cracks, and uneven paths. But when you lift your gaze, you see horizon. You see sky. You see possibility beyond the immediate terrain. Your perspective changes not because the ground disappears, but because your vision expands. My beloved child, perspective is powerful. What feels overwhelming up close often looks manageable from above. When you focus solely on what you lack, discouragement grows. But when you remember who I am, faith rises. Lift your eyes above the timeline you have created. Lift your eyes above comparison with others. Lift your eyes above the fear that whispers nothing will change. There is more happening than what your present view suggests. Imagine standing in a valley surrounded by mountains. From the valley floor, the mountains appear massive and immovable. But if you rise higher, even slightly, you begin to see beyond them. You realize they are not walls, they are landscapes with pathways through them. In the same way, your current challenge is not a wall. It is terrain. My beloved child, I do not want you to live with your head bowed in disappointment. I want you to stand with expectation. Not arrogance, but quiet confidence. Not forced positivity, but grounded trust. When you lift your eyes toward me, you remember my faithfulness. You recall past seasons where you thought you would not make it, yet you did. You remember doors that once seemed impossible to open but eventually did. You remember strength that rose inside you when you thought you had none left. Your present situation does not define the entirety of your story. It is a chapter, not the conclusion. Lifting your eyes also means releasing the need to understand everything immediately. It means saying, even if I cannot see the full picture, I trust the one who does. It shifts your focus from limitation to possibility. My beloved child, there is hope above your current viewpoint. There is light beyond your present horizon. There is movement beyond what your eyes can measure. You are not trapped. You are not forgotten. You are not stuck in a valley with no exit. The path continues. The story unfolds. When discouragement tries to settle in, pause. Breathe. Lift your eyes. Speak truth over your own heart. Remind yourself that I am greater than any delay. Remind yourself that I hold the future. The surprise that awaits you is not below your gaze, it is ahead of it. When you lift your eyes, you begin to see glimpses of what is coming. You sense expectation returning. You feel anticipation replacing despair. My beloved child, do not let your vision remain fixed on temporary shadows. Raise it toward enduring promise. Lift your eyes higher. I am there, guiding you forward. My beloved child, as you stand in this space between promise and fulfillment, I want you to remember something that is easy to forget when emotions run high. I have never failed you. There were seasons in your past when you thought everything was falling apart. You remember the fear. You remember the uncertainty. You remember nights when you lay awake wondering how things would ever work out. In those moments, you question whether I would come through for you. Yet here you are. You survived what you once believed would break you. You endured circumstances that felt unbearable. You found strength you did not know you possessed. And even though the journey was not always easy, you were carried through. My beloved child, my faithfulness is not always loud, but it is consistent. It may not always appear in the ways you expect, but it never disappears. Think back to doors that closed in your past. At the time, they felt devastating. You thought they were losses. But later, you saw how they redirected you to better opportunities. Think back to relationships that ended. At the time, your heart ached deeply. But later, you realized that their ending protected you from deeper pain. I have been guiding you even when you did not recognize my hand. Faithfulness does not mean every moment feels joyful. It means that even in sorrow, I remain steady. Even in confusion, I remain present. Even in delay, I remain committed to your good. My beloved child, the same faithfulness that carried you through past storms is carrying you now. The same love that sustained you before is sustaining you in this waiting season. You may feel uncertain about the future, but you have evidence from your own life that I do not abandon you. Look at the patterns. Look at the ways doors eventually opened. Look at the ways healing slowly arrived. Look at the ways provision came when you feared lack. If I have never failed you before, why would I begin now? Your current season does not erase your history of being cared for. It does not cancel the countless ways I have shown up in your life. When doubt tries to convince you that this time will be different, remember the track record of my faithfulness. Remember the prayers that were answered. Remember the strength that was provided. Remember the comfort that met you in moments of despair. My beloved child, your story is filled with evidence of my steady hand. I do not change with circumstances. I do not grow weary of supporting you. I do not forget promises spoken over your life. Even when you felt alone, I was there. Even when you felt forgotten, I was working. Even when you felt weak, I was strengthening you. Hold on to this truth now. Let it anchor your heart. The God who has never failed you will not fail you in this season. The Father who has carried you this far will not drop you before the destination. You are not standing at the edge of abandonment. You are standing at the edge of fulfillment. And the one who has always been faithful is still faithful now. My beloved child, the surprise I am preparing for you is not random. It is not careless. It is not generic. It is crafted with the same care and tenderness with which I formed your heart. I know you deeply. I know what brings you peace. I know what restores your strength. I know the quiet desires you have never spoken aloud. I know the dreams you almost gave up on because they felt too distant. And the gift I am preparing reflects that knowledge. When someone truly loves you, they choose gifts that match your heart. They do not simply give what is convenient, they give what is meaningful. In the same way, what is coming into your life is not an accident. It carries intention. It carries personal understanding. You may have compared your journey to others. You may have wondered why their blessings look different from yours. But my beloved child, your story is unique. Your path is distinct. And the surprise designed for you fits who you are becoming. There are details within it that will feel unmistakably tailored. When it arrives, you will sense familiarity, as though it was always meant to belong to you. You will recognize my fingerprints in its timing and in its form. This is not about temporary excitement. It is about alignment. It is about something that resonates with your purpose. It is about something that strengthens rather than distracts you. My love for you is not abstract. It is personal. It pays attention. It notices what matters to you. It considers your growth, your healing, your future. The surprise will not only meet a need, it will affirm your worth. It will remind you that you are seen. It will confirm that your waiting was not overlooked. There were moments when you questioned whether your desires mattered. You wondered if they were too small or too insignificant. But I care about what touches your heart. I care about what brings you joy. My beloved child, what is coming carries both my power and my tenderness. It is strong enough to change your circumstances and gentle enough to comfort your spirit. You may try to imagine it now, but it will exceed your imagination. Not because it is louder or bigger than you expected, but because it fits more perfectly than you could have designed on your own. When you receive it, you will feel relief. You will feel gratitude. But more than that, you will feel loved. That is what I desire for you, not only blessing, but assurance of my heart toward you. Hold on to this truth. I do not give carelessly. I do not answer halfway. I do not forget the details that matter to you. The surprise will reflect my love in ways that speak directly to your soul. And when it arrives, my beloved child, you will know that it came from a Father who understands you completely. My beloved child, you have listened, endured, trusted, and grown. Now I am asking you to do something simple yet powerful. Step forward with expectation. Expectation is not arrogance. It is not demanding that life unfold exactly as you wish. Expectation is the posture of a heart that believes something good is possible. It is the quiet confidence that says, I do not know how or when, but I trust that it is near. You have spent so much time bracing yourself for disappointment that you may have forgotten how to prepare for joy. You have learned to lower your expectations as a way of protecting your heart. But my beloved child, I do not want you to live guarded against blessing. When a farmer plants seeds, he does not stare at the soil in despair. He waters it with expectation. He prepares for harvest even before the first green shoot appears. He clears space in his barn. He readies his tools. He makes room for what he believes will grow. In the same way, begin making room in your heart for what is coming. This does not mean forcing positivity. It means releasing the assumption that nothing will change. It means waking up with openness instead of dread. It means speaking words that align with hope rather than defeat. You may not see immediate evidence yet, but evidence is forming beneath the surface. The door is loosening. The morning is nearing. The design is nearly revealed. My beloved child, walk as though the answer is on its way. Pray as though I am already moving. Speak as though breakthrough is possible. This posture of expectation prepares you emotionally and spiritually for the shift that is coming. There is a difference between waiting passively and waiting expectantly. Passive waiting feels stuck. Expectant waiting feels alive. It carries anticipation instead of anxiety. Lift your shoulders. Lift your chin. Let your heart breathe again. You are not foolish to expect good. You are not naive to believe that something beautiful can still unfold. Your expectation honors my faithfulness. There may be small signs in the coming days, subtle confirmations, gentle nudges, unexpected conversations. Pay attention to them. They are reminders that movement is happening. Do not retreat into skepticism at the first sign of change. Do not sabotage hope because you fear being disappointed. Allow yourself to believe. My beloved child, the season of only surviving is ending. The season of stepping forward is beginning. Take small steps of faith. Make practical preparations where you can. Clear space in your schedule. Open your heart in relationships. Speak life over your future. You are not standing on uncertain ground. You are standing at the edge of fulfillment. Step forward with expectation. The surprise is not behind you. It is ahead of you, and you are ready. My beloved child, you have walked with me through every word of this journey. You have listened in the waiting. You have trusted in the silence. You have endured the stretching. And now, as we reach this moment together, I want you to feel what I feel toward you. Deep love, unwavering pride, and certain promise. This season of waiting has not been empty. It has been sacred. Every tear, every question, every late night, every fragile whisper of faith has mattered. You were never alone. You were never forgotten. You were never standing still. What felt like delay was design. What felt like silence was preparation. What felt like weakness was strength forming quietly inside you. And now, my beloved child, the shift is here. The surprise I have spoken of is not imagination. It is not false hope. It is the unfolding of my careful plan. It will arrive in ways that reflect my love and confirm my faithfulness. You will see doors open that once felt sealed. You will experience joy that replaces your weariness. You will understand why the midnight had to come before the morning. Do not forget this journey when the blessing arrives. Let it remind you of my steady hand. Let it strengthen your faith for every future season. Let it anchor you in the knowledge that I am always working for your good. And as you step into fulfillment, I invite you into something greater than your own story. When you sow into this mission of sharing my word, you become part of the miracle in someone else's life. There are souls standing in their own midnight, waiting for light. When you release your seed through Super Thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description and shown as a QR code in this video, you are planting into fertile ground. I declare to you, as you give, it shall be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is your moment of obedience. Do not let hesitation silence generosity. Your gift becomes oil that keeps this light burning for others. I bless every giver with provision, peace, and multiplied harvest. What you sow in faith will return in abundance. Step forward now and plant your seed into this work. My beloved child, I seal this season with peace. I cover your heart with confidence. I bless your future with clarity and favor. Walk forward knowing that I am with you, ahead of you, and surrounding you always. Your waiting was not in vain. Your surprise is certain. Your story is still unfolding beautifully. Rest in my love. Amen.